everyone, I'm Thomas.
And I'm Gennady.
We founded Moon Studios during the rise of independent games in 2010.
Back then, there weren't all that many modern Metroidvania games out there.
Yo,
so we created Ori and the Blind Forest.
There you go.
Ori became a huge success with gamers and critics alike, and it helped spark new interest in the genre.
Our next project was supposed to be something totally different, because for over 20 years we've been playing action RPGs religiously, and we always dreamt of where this genre could be taken next. At the same time, we felt that we could do even more within the Metroidvania genre, and so we embarked on making Ori and the Will of the Wisps. We ultimately shipped another game that was incredibly well received and that we're deeply, deeply proud of.
But we had never forgotten about our dream of creating our own action RPG. We have left our mark on one genre before. Now we hope to do the same for action RPGs.
Dude, this
Our
looks
story
sick.
begins 841 years after the Embrace. King Harrow is dead, and he's to be succeeded by his young and untested son Magnus. Meanwhile, rumors of the return of a great plague, known as the Pestilence, are starting to emerge. Madrigal Celine, a ruthless figure in the church, sees the Pestilence as a chance to prove herself. These forces converge on the backwater of Isola Sacra, where rebel groups and the provincial government fight for control amid the isle's crumbling ruins. As a Sarim, a member of an ancient sect devoted to defeating the Pestilence, you are sent on a merchant ship to investigate.
I do wish the game was
your
true
ship
to
comes
person,
under attack from a
but
rebel group known as
I'll
the
still give
Risen.
it a shot.
The battle leaves the vessel battered and badly damaged. The ship stands little chance as it limps towards the shore, and it is torn apart on the rocks at sea. You find yourself washed up at the shores of Isola Sacra, bruised and unarmed, and end up caught in the midst of both a vast political struggle and a fight for survival.
The world.
With no rest for the wicked, we decided to handcraft an entirely seamless world. Nothing in this game is procedurally generated. Instead of moving across a randomly generated flat plane, throughout this showcase you will notice that our world is dense, interactive, uses a ton of verticality, and that every inch was crafted by a designer.
Crazy.
You'll be well served always paying attention to your surroundings too. There are secret areas just about everywhere that usually reward you with precious items.
I think the craziest part is that there's PvP though. That's the crazy part.
Loot in No Rest for the Wicked is randomized. It ensures that every player has their own unique experience, and that every time you explore an area, you might just finally get that last gold ore or new battle axe you've been waiting for. We abandoned the old point-and-click model to move your character around. We wanted players to have ultimate control over their
V2
character.
Astral, I'm not a big
Every
fan
movement
of
you
those
make
like
should feel
style
tactile
of camera.
and be intentional. For that reason, we designed Wicked to be played using WASD or a controller.
I knew it. Should have never brought you on board. You'll never make it to Sacrament from here.
Instead of going for realism, our goal is always to create games that look like a painting come to life. Our artists spent years meticulously modeling and hand-painting all of Isola Sacra. You will traverse through plenty of breathtakingly beautiful environments, lit with natural day and night cycles, immersed in dynamic weather.
The animations look freaking sick though, for everything. It's kind of
We also
insane. It looks
engineered
like
a very special way of rendering our top-down
looks like
world,
it's been done by like
where you
2D
can always
animators, even
see
though it's all
so
3D.
much further into the distance. Our goal was to make everything as interactive as possible. If an object looks like you can climb it, then you can actually climb it. and if an object is too thin to walk over it, you might just need to balance your way across.
This character is Mongoose, by the way. Also, Cuz Clever, thanks for the resub for 4 months.
Right from the
man.
start, we decided to create an animation-driven combat system, which to us meant that every attack you make should be carefully considered. We wanted to bring weighty, precision-driven combat to the top-down space. Combat that's inspired by several different genres, from ARPGs to fighting games. In order to overcome an opponent, you need to watch out for telegraphed behaviors and then punish accordingly.
Unironically, their combat looks better than FromSoft.
Timing,
Actually.
spacing, and weapon weight are incredibly important in Wicked's combat model. In A Rest for the Wicked, every single weapon has its own unique moveset and stats driven by RNG. Using this dagger, I'll have a hard time breaking this enemy's shield. Let's try something different. If you time it just right, you can parry incoming attacks, allowing you to exploit an enemy's opening. Gear in A Rest for
hard
the
swap.
Wicked comes in 4 different rarities. White items are common. Unlike in other ARPGs, they're not trash loot. We instead made those the most customizable. Blue items are rare. They offer only positive enchantments. Purple items are cursed. They offer very positive enchantments, but they also come with a cursed enchantment. Gold items are unique. They are specifically handcrafted by our designers and offer unique enchantments. This rare claymore we found has an enchantment that increases my focus gain whenever I deal damage.
That's the that's the good old like Ultra from Dark Souls 3. The Lothric Ultra. Not a claymore.
Every weapon has a chance to drop with its own unique rune, which can then be extracted and used on other weapons. That way, players can come up with their own unique moveset.
This is sick
You
though.
can focus through combat. It is... Let's try one. But every now and then, you might not even need to use your weapons to get rid of an enemy. Sometimes, all you need is a little push.
No, it's multiplayer too, actually.
Every weapon you'll find in No Rest for the Wicked has its own
Unironically, this is
bespoke
gonna have
moveset,
PvP, dude.
custom made by our incredible animation department. Squash and stretch and other animation principles directly inform our combat design. Layered on top of that, enchantments that drastically impact weapon behavior, and our deep rune system. All of this culminates in a weapon system that we feel is extremely fun and engaging and allows every player to create their own style of combat. When it comes to gear like armor, there is a wide range of options, each with their own design and attributes. The weight of such items, wide range of options.
Look at that. It says offline character. You know what that means.
Each with their own design and attributes. The weight of such items even affects your movement in combat. For instance, if you opt in for a lighter, faster build, you can quickstep out of enemies' way. Quicksteps are fast and don't consume a lot of stamina. With medium weight build, your character will dodge roll. Those are slower and consume more stamina.
Well, rip.
For no rest for the wicked, we designed a soft class system.
Wait. It's
For
important.
no rest for the wicked, we designed a soft class system. For no rest for the wicked.
Damn! Man. This isn't... This is a wide character. Also, these arms, like, reaching the... all the way down to the knees here. I'm gonna be honest, like, if you know a bit about anatomy, like, this is, like, a bit closer to actually monkey anatomy. And I'm not even joking. but it's okay to compensate with these hips.
We designed a soft class system. Instead of locking you into a character class that you then have to adhere to for the entire playthrough, we want you to have the flexibility and freedom to play as the type of character you want to, and even come up with character classes we haven't even thought of.
So far, we've shown what combat looks like with a more melee-focused build. Let's take a look at how combat changes for a mage. This character build uses a two-handed stab. We have 3 rune specials available: Blink, Fireball, and Nova. Fighting multiple enemies is always tricky. When used right, Nova can be an absolute blast.
The uniqueness of each item you find or craft,
I'll note though.
being able to create any character build you can think of through us.
Hello. It's like lagging. I'll note though that the magic here, like, just look at the time it takes to cast something. Actually, what it should be for these sort of games. Like, just notice the time it takes for the fireball and for the AoE.
This character build uses a two-handed stab. We have 3 rune specials available: Blink, Fireball, and Nova. 3 rune specials available: Blink, Fireball, and Nova.
Look at that casting time.
Fighting multiple...
That's actually, like, PvP aside, like, strictly talking about PvE, that's actually how you balance, like, magic. Like, if you want a massive range, you need massive startup. It's just how it is. And they actually... Like, I'm actually surprised because these devs actually seem to understand, like, Souls combat more than FromSoft, honestly. Like, at least from what we see here. We're gonna see when we get our hands on the full game, but just from watching this, like, it looks like these devs have a greater understanding of combat than FromSoft.
enemies is...
And I'm not just talking about the spell here, like, in general, the way their attacks behave, like, the variety in different attack speed versus range. Like, they seem to understand the hierarchy in different attack types. Really, really like it.
always tricky. When used right, Nova can be an absolute blast.
Look at that startup, too. Looks nice.
The uniqueness of each item you
99% of devs don't understand spacing. Oh, Muaz, I can absolutely confirm to you that you are absolutely correct. I guarantee you are correct. Every dev I talk to does not understand spacing. They don't understand spacing, and sometimes they think these games are all about timing. Yeah.
find or craft, being able to create any character build you can think of through our soft class system, and the randomized loot, all of these systems combine to ensure each playthrough and every player's experience is never truly the same.
Really cool stuff, though. Most people don't understand it. Yeah, that's true, Bob. You're right. It's like... Let me put it that way. They're basically artists, if you may.
Isola Sacra is riddled with plagued enemies known as the Torn. As you can see, this Torn has been left to mutate and fester and will prove particularly vicious. Our best course of action is to study his moves and attack whenever we see an opening.
I really like the boss moveset too, honestly.
Bosses are also quite brutal in
Their boss animation are honestly insane. Like like their animations look so good, like actually so good. I really wish that this game was a true third-person camera. That's my only gripe with it. I've never been into like side games, like, you know, I get it, you know, when you're independent developers, like it's just going to be easier to pull it off, but still, I think they've been bought by Microsoft. I could be wrong, but yeah, that's my only gripe with it. Otherwise, like, honestly, everything looks so good that it's I would be shocked if this game doesn't like become like a staple, honestly. From what I see so far, like this game is almost guaranteed success, honestly.
No Rest for the Wicked. They will punish every mistake you will make. But keep a cool head, make use of all of the skills.
You don't like camera angle, you don't know why it's so popular. Like the thing is, it's like these camera angles are basically like a throwback to like retro style, because we went through all these phases, and the reason we went through these phases is because it's easier to make, really. Like it's easier to make like a 2D side game. And even then, like with a world like that, like not having to worry about the camera, it means that you don't have to construct a world from every angle. You only have to construct for one angle. So technically, like these sort of top down are easier to make if you really want to know. Like it's harder to pull. Like it's not necessarily. I don't know if harder is the right word, but there's more things to think about when you make like a true third person, or a true third person, in my opinion, is what's most difficult to pull off, because a true first person doesn't have like has as many like things to animate, because you always have to fully animate your character in third person where you don't in first person. But either way, let's
You've
continue.
learned, and you just might succeed. As you can see, No Rest for the Wicked is an
Yeah, I agree though. Sorry for pausing. I agree that the camera could kill it for many.
intensely skill-based game. Your gear greatly influences your power in battle, but whether you die or overcome the challenges,
You know, so
ultimately down
I might
to
be wrong
your
there.
skill.
Had to parry him for the last shot. But to be fair, like games like that are crafted in 3D, guys. So I wonder if there's going to be like a mod at some point that actually lets you control the camera. That would be interesting.
Along your journey, you will come across the town of Sacrament, the capital of Isola Sacra. Sacrament is a war-torn place, but over the course of your journey, you can help rebuild Sacrament to its former glory.
Oh, ignore their gates, Serum. They likely never seen one of your kind.
In order to demonstrate that, we'll switch to a realm that's already
That's a good
little more
point, Bob,
advanced.
honestly. It's a very good point, though. You're
Our
right,
goal
the
is to
camera
make
is kind of
Sacrament as
finicky.
interesting and interactive as possible.
Read about it, Mary Weather. Taylor's at your service. Mary, we agreed. My name goes first.
Don't pretend you don't smell it. Come have a taste.
And players will be in control over how Sacrament
That's what Mungus said to LeBron James. Or sorry, the other way around.
will evolve over time. For example, after my previous expedition, I helped Fillmore rebuild his smithy. He now sells better gear and is also able to upgrade our gear to a higher level. To that effect, we aim to make investing resources into Sacrament as satisfying and rewarding as investing resources into your character is. Let's take a look at another way you can make Sacrament your own.
In Sacrament, you'll be able to purchase real estate. Well, if you have the funds to afford it.
The city's gone to shit.
Property in Sacrament can get a little bit expensive, but accumulate the riches and you can choose from a wide range of properties to suit anyone's
This is just for
taste.
me, guys. Like the
Your
whole
house
like
is the
building.
perfect place to
Like I know you guys don't like it, but you know, I'm an artist. I love that stuff. So it's just how it is.
stash your loot, craft items,
It's not going to be
relax,
for everyone.
and plan everything out for your next big run through the dangerous areas surrounding Sacrament. I just moved in here, so it's a little bit barren. Let's fix that.
Okay, so you
Out
guys
on your
love
journey,
building.
you'll
Let's
be
get
able
it.
to collect or harvest valuable resources, which then can be used to craft new gear, furniture for your home, or even make improvements to the town itself.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm surprised by the amount of like features or like quote unquote mechanics that are in there. Like this game has more, like this game has a lot of actual mechanics, like just like cutting that tree there, like there's a building thing, and then there's like Souls-like combat, and then we know there's PvP. They showcased a picture of an arena. Like there seems to be a lot of mechanics and features. It's quite surprising. Like the game looks quite rich actually. Like just the way they have their like you can transfer moveset on weapons. You know, there's a lot of things going on here. Souls-like sandbox. I don't know about sandbox because their whole world is handcrafted. Whole world is sandcrafted, bro. I don't know, but because I don't know if it's like linear with levels or I don't know, dude. I mean, it seems to me that they made it like interconnected Dark Souls 1 style, but yeah. I don't know if it's considered a sandbox or not.
Catch a fish, for example, and it can be cooked and eaten, of course. But certain fish scales might even make for some fine armor. While I was on the shores of Sacra, I collected some pine wood. So now, let's make use of that and make this place a little bit more cozy. Housing is incredibly cool in No Rest for the Wicked. Since you're not constrained to a grid, you can come up with some really organic looking designs. The table looks nice, but it's missing something. It was much better. While some items you can place in your house are just cosmetic, our goal is for most of them to be functional and have a gameplay purpose. With a range of properties to purchase and an incredibly flexible interior design system, we hope players will be able to find and design a unique place for them to call home.
One last thing we'd like to show you today is a system we call Alive. Although No Rest for the Wicked features a traditional campaign, it was important to us that Isola Sacra is very much a living, breathing world. In order to show you what that means, we're going to go to an area called Mariner's Keep. This is an area I've previously ventured through and explored. However, since my last journey through here, Nith have overrun the local area, presenting entirely new threats for me to tackle and resources for me to scavenge. The world of No Rest for the Wicked is constantly changing around you. And each time you visit a region, you'll be faced with a drastically different experience. And no rest for the wicked. You never really know what to expect. For those of you who asked about Endgame, yes, we've got you covered. While we don't want to give away too much at this point, once you reach the endgame, you can enter the Serum Crucible. This is where you'll have to test your mettle against some of the toughest enemies within No Rest for the Wicked.
Our goal is and always has been to create a very different action RPG, one that will hopefully move the genre forward. We believe that Moon Studios is in an incredibly unique position to deliver on this vision. We have some of the best talent in the world united behind this, and we're not afraid to take the risks that need to be taken in order to change up the status quo.
We've poured an incredible amount of blood, sweat and tears into this project, and now we're at a point where we need your help to shape and build Wicked into the best game it can possibly be.
Therefore, we'd like to invite all of you who love this genre, who grew up with it the same way we did, and who are excited to see a new take on it, to join us on this journey. And so we're happy to announce that we're going to be launching No Rest for the Wicked after all of these years into Steam Early Access next month on April 18th.
Let's go.
Over the course of Early Access, we'll be tweaking, patching and balancing the game with
Dude, it's going to be like Dragon's Dogma on March, and then April, No Rest for the Wicked, and then May, we're going to be able to choose between either we play Dragon's Dogma or No Rest for the Wicked, and then after that, we get the Elden Ring DLC in June. So we have a really nice few months ahead.
your input. And you will also see major content updates throughout development until we hit our 1.0 release.
You don't
At
trust
which point,
anyone
we're
wearing a
planning to
scarf
release
indoor.
on consoles.
Launch, multiplayer update, and then the breach, and then further updates. Oh, you know what that means? I think they want to go like make a bigger world here, but since this is what takes the most amount of resources, I think they're keeping it for last. Oh my god, that's... So basically the first update is multiplayer. That's really nice. Then the breach, I assume this is going to be like some sort of more content, just DLC type stuff. But ooh, that's good.
As well.
Wicked has been built from the ground up with multiplayer in mind. So the first of these major updates that we will be releasing in early access will be providing you with an innovative multiplayer experience, allowing you to play Wicked alongside or even against your friends.
Our second major content update will bring all new regions to Sacra, new enemies, narrative updates, and so much more, with story, system, and gameplay content updates to follow thereafter.
Your support and feedback during this very critical part of early access really does make a difference. No Rest for the Wicked begins a new era for Moon Studios, and we're committed to this project for the long run.
We're incredibly excited about what will be in No Rest for the Wicked already in day one of early access, and we can't wait to show you all the stuff that will follow in the months to come. Once the showcase is over, be sure to tune in to your favorite media and content creators for the hands-on impressions of No Rest for the Wicked immediately following this showcase.
We can't wait to see you all on April 18th.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. How much is it? I hope it's the price of a full game. But definitely, it definitely made something that's clearly high quality here. It's really nice. Really, really nice. It's weird blur. I think we've seen that already. Not this one. Gameplay. Is date? Yeah, I think that's this one.
This month's IGN First is Ori developer Moon Studios' upcoming action RPG, No Rest for the Wicked. Throughout the rest of February, we'll have new gameplay, behind-the-scenes features, and interviews with the development team coming your way, all building up to the game's Wicked Inside Showcase on the 1st of March. First up though, we have an exclusive look at 8 minutes of gameplay, including a tense boss battle against Warwick the Torn. Enjoy!
The armors look really nice too. Yo, what's up, Teach? Think they'll make an IGN build? Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna hop on Elden Ring soon, though. I just wanna watch this first. Small pause. Thanks for the resub for 7 months, man. Low quality meat. Oh, don't worry, Teach. The game is going to do well. I'd be shocked if this game is a flop. I'd be extremely shocked.
Serim. Forgive my father. He mistook you for one of the Risen.
If you make for sacrament, there are worse things than bandits up ahead. A great beast is loose in these glades.
They say it used to be a man. I wanted to go after it, but father says...
Father says the torn are not to be trifled with. And he's right.
Have you played Hyper Light Drifter? No, it's not my type of game, but it looks like a good game. It's not my type, though. I'm not really into indie games, if I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm very picky. Like, I like my, I like my games like true third person, character customization, you know, character creation, everything. This, it has everything I like except the camera, so I'll make a compromise there. You have a favorite game? Yeah, but my favorite game is it's just like, it's not objectively like the best game, it's just my favorite game. Like, yeah, it's not even in this genre, it's Rainbow Six Vegas 2. Played that competitively for 8 years, dude. To me, like, it's by far the best shooter ever. It's what, like, Rainbow Six Vegas, the first one, is like... I've played a lot of video games before, but this particular one was the game that made me fall in love with gaming. This boss looks really well made. The animations are sick. I love the telegraph attacks, like there's like a part of telegraphing every attack, which is really nice. Like, they said the game was launching in early access and that they were going to put an emphasis on balancing. I feel like that's just where I come in and just balance the PvP like from the get-go. And because these devs are probably very smart, especially looking at a lot of the combat decisions that they made, they're probably going to listen to everything and we're going to have like an amazing PvP. It might be bad at launch, but if they're balancing it from the get-go, it's not going to take long to like get everything right, unless, and big caveat here, unless they do the same thing as Lords of the Fallen and made a bad decision with the networking type or the networking architecture. It's called networking topology, with the topology that they choose. So basically, like, if they decide to make it so that one player is the host and the other one is just a client, and then one player has like perfect latency and the other one has shit latency, well, that doesn't work, obviously. And that's how Lords of the Fallen did it, and they just like face planted, because when they made Steel and Night as the game, we told them like right away, and they seemed to be like unaware that, like, the devs were like shocked that we told them like that it's unplayable. We told them even to like remove the PvP and just like forget about it. That's what we told them, but obviously they can't because they had already marketed the PvP. But yeah, I mean, for Lords of the Fallen, you guys know how the game turned out at launch. But I mean, it's obvious to any of us, but they didn't realize it until we got our hands on it and showed them and explained it to them. But I don't think they had tested it much with like with higher latency, because there was a lot of rubber banding. But like, for instance, with here, there's always a chance that this could be the case again, like that single player and everything is their focus, just like From Software, just like Lords of the Fallen, single player is their focus. It's always like that. There's a chance that they might adopt this bad like network architecture where they have one host and then the other person's a client, so there's like a discrepancy between the two players and it just doesn't work. The way From Software handles it is like their architecture treats both players in a peer-to-peer structure as client. So both of them like have authority over some decisions. Like basically what you see on your screen, you have authority over. So the game is not like in sync. Actually, let me pull up something. Oh, it's unfortunate. I wanted to draw on screen, but maybe next time. Oh yeah, the networking thing. So basically, like with From Software, you have like peer-to-peer, but the game is not like synced for one reality. The game is different from each other's screen, and the effect of that is that you're never going to have like a different input delay depending on the latency. It's going to be the hit registration that happens later. So it still feel responsive no matter what. It's just that you have to adapt for different timing depending on latency. But like if you had like one server, you would have a delay to that server, a greater delay than peer-to-peer, but there would be like one reality. So if they have a server that's not a player, that's a dedicated server, that would actually work too. There would be more latency, but that has its benefits. All right, let's keep going to finish this one. I'll keep the sword and give the bone to Mungus. Cool stuff though. Cool stuff. Really nice.